Hi guys, this is Creative Cuts, a channel where I build, paint and create things. I've had quite a few requests and questions about how I do weathering, and specifically rust. So, today, I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive to go through some of the products and a few of the techniques that I use in my builds. Weathering is a fantastic way to add age and character to any model or diorama. And the great news is that the techniques don't need a huge amount of skill to achieve really professional results. There is not one specific way to achieve a rust effect, so you can mix and match your techniques to your needs depending on the look you want to achieve. If you like these kind of build videos, there's plenty more on the channel to check out. You can subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest videos, hit the like button to support the channel, and share it with a friend who might find these tips useful. If you want to go a step further, you can join to become a member, or there are a couple of one-off donation links in the description below to help fund materials. Any support is always welcome. So to begin with, I set up 6 swatch panels and primed them black with my standard primer. With the first 2 panels, I will cover what I call pre-weathering, or could be described as physical weathering, meaning you age the model directly by drilling holes for battle damage, for example, or carve in little scratches and nicks with a sharp knife. You can even heat up the end of an old screwdriver to achieve a melted look from, say, a plasma gun. For the next 2 panels, I will show how you can use chipping medium to create paint chips or realistic rust effects. To do this, you must first paint the colour that you want to show through. Because I'm focusing on rust in this example, I chose a nice burnt sienna colour as my base. You can paint all of this by hand with a brush, but for the sake of speed, I will just use my airbrush. And to set up my final 2 panels, I'll just paint a base coat to get started. For these panels, I want to show how you can use special effect rust paints to get great effect, or just hand paint the rust with regular paint. And while I still have paint in my airbrush, I give my first 2 panels the same base coat. To seal my rust colour and allow me to work on top of it without fear of damaging the lovely brown colour I laid down earlier, I give these a solid coat of matte varnish. I then grab my pot of chipping medium by Vallejo and thin this a little to help it spray through my airbrush. I spray one panel very lightly, and for the other I gave it a really heavy coat, as you will see at the end. These will give you completely different results depending on what kind of look you want to achieve. I then spray on top of the chipping medium with the same base colour that I used for the rest of my panels. I decided that I also wanted to experiment with a real corroded rust look, so I grabbed some texture paste, in this case Muddy Ground by AK Interactive. Anything will do as long as it has some fine texture to it. I just paint this on, leaving it heavier in the areas that I want to have the most corrosion. And as you can see, once painted with the same base colour as the other panels, you can really see the fine texture show through. You could use this to simulate bubbled paint, or really heavily corroded rust, as I will do with this example. What I did notice was the panel with the heavy coat of chipping medium also cracked the paint a bit. Now, not quite as much as a dedicated crackle paint, but still an interesting effect if you wanted something more subtle. And to start chipping the paint off, all you have to do is wet a brush with water and paint over the areas where you applied the chipping medium. You can control this quite easily and remove as much or as little as you want depending on the effect that you want to achieve. The chipping medium creates a lovely randomized pattern that, in my opinion, looks really realistic. The panel where I gave it a lighter coat of chipping medium creates lots of tiny microdots of chips which look amazing at a miniature scale. Really realistic. And if you don't want to go down the chipping medium route, you can still get a similar effect with sponge and paint. This way does require a bit more of a delicate touch and a bit more patience, but with some practice you can get a look that's equally effective. Just tear up a small piece of sponge and dip it in some paint. And you want to remove most of the paint until you barely have any of it left before moving on to your actual model that you want to paint. Then, lightly dab your sponge in random patterns to achieve a chipped rust effect. The great thing is that if you're a bit keen and got carried away, you can always come in with a wet brush and remove any unwanted areas or partially remove them to create smears. Now my favourite one-stop rust product has to be rust by a company called Dume, who specialise in products originally designed for the film industry. This is basically ready-made rust in a bottle. Simply paint it on and watch the magic happen. To get the best results, I've found it needs a really good shake and a bit of heat. An old hairdryer works perfectly for this. It is a really versatile product as it's water-based, so you can thin it to build up a wonderful variety of tones, or just use it straight out of the bottle to create a heavier rust effect. As it cures, it dries to an ultra matte, dry, almost crusty finish, and I haven't found a similar product that even comes close to this look. And a while back I bought these metallic markers from a company who specialise in airbrush products called Curli, and are a great way to quickly add metallic effects to your models in a really precise way. They come in a range of tones, and if you're interested in picking some up or anything airbrush related, I've left a link in the description to get you a discount. Use the code CREATIVE to stack on top of some of the already amazing deals they have on their website. A great company who make fantastic products at a really affordable price range, while still having the quality to compete with high-end airbrushes. So, if you're wondering about getting into airbrushing, they're a superb entry point for beginners, as well as catering to seasoned airbrush user like myself. You will not be disappointed. I go over my metallic panel with the same paint method I'd used previously, but instead of using a sponge, I use an old brush to stipple on paint to create nice random rusty patterns. If you're feeling really patient, you can grab a fine brush and hand paint the rust patterns on too. This gives you much more control as to where each specific dot goes. You can build this up in layers and also vary the colour to get really realistic results. As I said earlier, you can combine these techniques to get even more realism, as I'm doing here, by adding a bit of hand-painted colour variation to the chipping medium panel. Another great rust effect product is this rust texture by Vallejo. It behaves completely differently and doesn't have the same chemical effect as the rust by Dirty Down I showed earlier, but is a great alternative as it has tiny micro flakes in it that create a really nice texture if you want a more heavily corroded effect. This painted on top of the texture I created earlier looks like the rust is literally ready to start flaking off. And because it's also water-based, you can come in straight after with a clean wet brush and blend any areas to create additional colour transitions. Another product that I really love to use are enamel washes, like Rust Streaks by AK Interactive. Enamel-based paints are not water-based, so they need to be thinned down with white spirit or something similar. The difference is that, like oil paint, they break down much thinner, yet holding their pigment perfectly, which means you can get amazing gradients that would be nearly impossible to achieve with a water-based paint. Simply paint it on, then with a clean brush, dip it in some thinner, and use this to draw out your rust streaks. I found that building these up in layers gives you the best effect. Add a bit, remove a bit, then go back and forth until you get the look that you're after. Villainy Ink is another company that also make a rust type enamel wash, but it's far less concentrated than the AK Interactive option, meaning that the effect is much more subtle, but in my opinion works amazingly well on miniatures, where less is often more. You can achieve similar rust streaks with the Rust by Dirty Down product that I mentioned earlier, but as it's a water-based product, all you need is water. Simply wet your brush and paint over the dried paint to reactivate it, and blend it to your heart's content. And this is why it's my favourite one-stop rust product, because the different effects you can achieve with just this one product are unrivaled. And as before with the other panels, you can just go back and forth adding and removing paint until you get a lovely variation in tones that you're happy with. And another sneaky bonus tip that I've found is using ink-based skin tone washes to create rust streaks. Not quite as versatile as the enamel washes in terms of blending, but if you're already into miniature painting and have some skin tone washes, then these can be a great alternative. So, there you are. As I said at the start of this video, there are many ways you can achieve really realistic rust effects and even combine them in any number of ways to achieve the look that you want. From subtle rust spots to heavily corroded rust that is literally eating away at the metal beneath. The possibilities are endless. Use your imagination and even make a few practice panels to get a feel for how different products behave, like I have here, and experiment with what works for you. If this video has been helpful, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, give it a hype, and let me know in the comments below your go-to products or tips to create rust effects. And remember, this video came about from requests from viewers. So if there are other techniques you would like me to go into depth with, then let me know, and I will add it to the list for future videos. Until then, happy building, happy painting, and I'll see you in the next one.